everybody doing today? I'm Grant Walters, and welcome to my On the Line presented by MySportsResults.com and sponsored by Marathon Sports and the Foster Running Camp. Some of my interviews that will be on the show will feature some of Connecticut's top cross country and track and field athletes, teams, and coaches. And in my first episode, I'm very happy to be joined by Conard High School's two standout runners who also happen to be twins, Liv Sherry and Tess Sherry. And we have a lot to get to in this episode, so let's just jump right in. So, to start things off, how do you feel about your season so far, both individually and as a team?
Yeah, I've been really happy with my season so far. Last year was my first year doing cross country, and I didn't have like the best season. So, um, I was just excited to get back into it this season. I feel like I've been improving a lot, and so I've been really happy about that. And our team is having a big year this year. We made state opens for the first time as a team. So, yeah, we're super proud of our team, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely like Liv said, our team has been doing really well this year, so that's been really exciting and fun, just to have everyone racing like farther into the championship season. For me, I don't really feel like I've had any like standout races this year, but I've been pretty consistent, so I've been happy with that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I saw some of you guys' times. You guys are performing amazing, and like you guys said, both individually and as a team. So, and congrats on State Open as well. This is a huge accomplishment. So,
Thank you.
but I also do want to ask, what have been your go-to workouts this season that have helped you prepare for championship season specifically? And have there been any changes to your training routines, especially as you guys just transition to the championship season?
Yeah, I think the biggest workout we've been doing has been like 1Ks, which has been really helpful. Just because like since we're running 5Ks so much, like a lot of the I like kind of break down the race in my head into 1Ks anyway, so it helps doing that. And I would say the only thing that we've really been changing is with like championship season, since we have so many races in a row, we've been like swimming a little bit, which helps because it just like gets us off our legs a little and like helps us recover.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. I feel like the only thing that's a lot different this year is that we've been swimming a little bit, which has been nice.
Nice. Yeah, and like you guys said, you guys touched upon this earlier, but you guys didn't start off your high school careers running, so like with swimming and everything. So I was wondering, I mean, how did swimming really help you become the runners that you are today? And also, did it impede, do you think it impeded your ability to really reach your full potentials as runners, respectively?
Um, I think that just the fact that like swimming is also just racing has like helped me have like a race mentality kind of and just be able to like prepare myself mentally for races and running. So I guess it's like similar in that aspect instead of playing like a team sport or something like that. Also just like endurance wise, I feel like it helped me a lot. Um, I feel like swimming, especially like in our first year where we just did outdoor track, and then the second year we did just indoor and outdoor. I think that in the beginning of the season, it just kind of feels harder to get into running. Like you just kind of feel out of shape. But I think that like ultimately it's helpful just because like then at the end of the season, like your legs aren't super tired and like it just kind of helps with like injury prevention too. Um, so yeah, I feel like it was helpful to have so much swimming.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, I think last year like was our first year with all three seasons, and it was kind of hard to get used to it at first because it was just so much more running than we are used to. So yeah, I honestly think like the first couple years doing swimming was helpful.
You know, and that's such a cool story again to reiterate. I mean, you guys both didn't start cross country specifically until junior year. That's correct, right? And
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean that just makes your success even more incredible and it's just really impressive. So but I do want to ask also just I want you guys both to walk me through your pre-meet routines. What do you guys do the day/night before a big race and even during race day? Do you guys have differing routines or similar routines? And do you guys have any notable rituals? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really have like a super set routine. I would say our routines are pretty similar.
Mhm.
Uh, I always like pack my stuff the night before because it makes me feel a little less nervous. Um, I don't really have like a set dinner or anything. I always kind of have like a different one. But yeah, I always make sure I stretch a lot the night before. Sometimes we'll take ice baths.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Especially before like the bigger meets, because it just helps my legs like feel a little bit better, and it's kind of just like a mental thing too. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say I always do stretching and rolling. We do ice baths a lot. I always drink a lot of water the night before too, and go to bed early.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I know every runner kind of has a different routine, so I always try and ask that in terms of my runners on the show is just,
Mhm.
but how do their routines differ? Any specific rituals? Because I know a lot of runners can be very superstitious about pre-race stuff. So, but I also do want to talk about outside of running as well. I think this is an important point to make because I know that running is a huge commitment for you guys, but do each of you have extracurriculars outside of running? If so, how have these added to not only your running performances, but your lives in general?
I would say like the main thing is swimming. Like
Mhm.
we've always like kept up with swimming. And so like over the summers we like grew up doing a club swim team, and that was some of like our closest friends, and like that was like our sport growing up. So like we still do that over the summers. Like we'll go to some practices and stuff. And then obviously this season we've been going to like the high school practices, which we're also on that team for a couple years. So it's just nice being able to like keep up with our relationships with like our teammates from the swim team, and like also we both still love swimming, so yeah.
Yeah, I would say swimming too. I feel like it's just been helpful throughout like our running career, just with like injuries and stuff. Like whenever I've had something bothering me, I always just swim. So it's nice to have something else that I enjoy doing, that I can do like when I'm injured. So yeah.
Cool. And I know that your brothers also swam. You guys have obviously another set of twins, but I do want to lead this into that. So, how, as the second set of twins in your family, do you ask or get any advice from both Gavin Sherry and Callum Sherry that has helped shape you to into the runners that you are today?
Um, Honestly, yeah, they've helped a lot. Like growing up, like we always had them to kind of look up to. And yeah, they help a lot with like if we're ever like not sure what to do about like certain parts of training, or like before races, they've done all the same races as us, so like they can give us advice about like the courses we're doing like in cross country, or like how to run a race for track or something. So yeah, it's really nice to have them.
Yeah, I feel like they never give us like super specific advice, but like they always are like texting us good luck before all our races, even while they're at school and stuff. And just like watching them has always like inspired us. So
Mhm.
And I know that both of your parents were also big athletes in high school. So, just to kind of extend upon that, how is their influence and how they raised you? How has that shaped you into the runners that you are today?
Yeah. Growing up, like we always had like sports were always a big part of our family. And yeah, my mom was a runner in high school and college. She ran for UMaine. My dad was a soccer player, so he didn't run, but obviously like that has a lot of running too. So, and he runs now all the time. So they both are really helpful. Like they can give us a lot of advice and like help us like with training, or like, and they're always at our meets like cheering for us, which really helps a lot too. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. My mom has a lot of experience. Just she also ran in college, and so she definitely helps us a lot with like workouts and stuff. Especially like in between seasons, she'll help give us workouts and stuff, and also just like advice for racing, and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, so I also do want to, more talk about racing specifically. So you guys always seem to finish races within seconds of each other. So just how do you guys work so well together during a race to push each other? And what would you say each of your strengths and weaknesses are as runners? And I guess that plays into how do your running skill sets complement each other mid-race?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like we always are training together. So like we do everything together, and like our workouts are together. So um we're just really used to like running with each other and like pushing each other, and I feel like that's like the biggest thing that's like helpful is like we like know what it's like to be with each other, and like so it's just helpful during a race. Like if I'm like feeling tired and like Tess is near me, like I know I should be able to stick with her, and like it kind of like pushes me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like just because we train together, like we do all the same workouts, all the same times and stuff. So I just feel like in races, like we know we should be able to stay together. So like if one of us is feeling better than the other, like we know we should be able to stick with them. And so I feel like that's helpful.
Yeah, it's cool. I gotta ask, is there a sibling rivalry between the two of you in terms of who finishes above the other and like, has a better race? Is there a sense of this rivalry between you guys?
Honestly, surprisingly, like not really, because we
Yeah.
kind of go back and forth so much that like I don't know. Like
Yeah, I feel like I'm really competitive, like just a competitive person in general, but like not as much with Lev. So
yeah.
yeah.
No, that's great. That's great. Like, cheering for each other's success. I really respect that. So, and I know this is kind of a general question, but it's impossible for siblings to get along all the time. So what is one thing that the other twin does that drives you crazy?
Mine's kind of running related. One thing that bothers me is like when we're running, like especially just like normal runs, like easy runs, like when we're passing people, Tess always like barely moves over, and so I'm always like in between her and the other person, and I'm like hitting into them, and it's just annoying.
I would say this is like not running, but I feel like I'm like me and Liv share a room, and I feel like I'm like a more organized person than Liv, so a lot of times she's kind of messy, and she also takes a long time to get ready for things. So I'm always waiting for her.
Got you, got you. And the next question is also more running related, but it's about Brooke Strauss, and you guys have a lot of experience running against her, and she's been lighting courses on fire this season. She's been dropping insane times. So, how's her approach in terms of racing against her change over the course of the CCC Class Double L State Open meets?
Honestly, yeah, like I mean, she's amazing. She's always been amazing, but yeah, she's having a crazy season this year. Yeah, she's always been like someone who pushes us in races, and so we're honestly really lucky to be able to race against like so many fast people because it really pushes you in races. And yeah, this year obviously we haven't really been like sticking as close to her. But it's nice to have her at least in the beginning to like push us, and yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it hasn't really changed the way I like go into races. But it's definitely like I always try and stick with her. Cause like we've always like raced against each other. So like I know I've done similar to her in the past. So I feel like it's just helpful to have someone to challenge us. And yeah.
Yeah, and how have these races where you're going head to head against Brooke Strauss, how have those compared to your iconic match or iconic races against Katie Bulkey, for example, from Newington last season?
Honestly, like they both are really, really strong finishers, I would say. So that's really similar. Yeah, which is kind of like hard to like race against them at the end. Like you really gotta like be ready for that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they both are kind of like similar in the way that they compete. So yeah, so I feel like it kind of like feels similar. And also last year, like when we were racing against Katie, Brooke would usually always be there too. So yeah, in some ways it kind of feels like the same as last year a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who else is on your radar going into the New England Championship at Wickham on November 9th and Foot Locker Northeast Regionals at the end of the month as well?
Yeah, I would say honestly, like a lot of the same people we've been like racing against, uh, like Connecticut just has like so many fast people, so I feel like we're always racing in pretty competitive races. But yeah, Brooke obviously, Chase Gilbert.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And how are you guys approaching these next two championship meets? Are you guys going through a taper or are you guys kicking it up in terms of mileage and workouts?
Yeah, for the past, like, for state opens and then now New England's, like, they're just so close together that we've been kind of taking it easier. And like I said, we've been doing some swimming. So yeah, we've done like a couple workouts, but nothing too crazy because we didn't want to like make our legs super tired. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say in terms of training, yeah, we've been doing a little bit like less intense stuff, but then for like how I'm approaching it, I guess like I feel like it's more at like now it's kind of more individual just because like we're all done with the team and stuff, and like these last few races like don't count for on a team at all, so I feel like it's just more like focusing on the race like for myself and yeah.
And this is also to kind of backtrack, but during the season, you guys also train a lot of time with the boys team as well. And obviously Grant Bigger, who's the state open, he competed in the state open this season. So how how would you say the training has gone just in terms of how you guys have been able to train collectively with the boys team throughout both of your seasons in cross country and, going into your third season of track and field?
Yeah, I honestly it's really nice. Like it's nice to have like Grant, obviously. And like some of the other boys, like it's just nice to be able to run with them, and also like for workouts and stuff it can be helpful. Like obviously we're not all going like the same paces, but it's just helpful to have like other people doing it with you, and it kind of like helps you get through it, so it's nice.
Yeah, it's definitely like motivating to especially during like hard workouts to have other people doing it too. Grant especially, I feel like he helps us a lot and workouts, and like sometimes he'll pace us for things or stuff like that, so I feel like it's definitely really nice to have him, and just for like easy runs and stuff, to run together is fun too.
Awesome. Yeah. And this is my next set of questions are going to extend upon your guys' high school running and go more into obviously you guys are running in college, so it's going to go more into college running. So you both are bound to run at Georgetown next year, which first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate you both on such an impressive feat.
Thank you.
You both must be extremely proud, so that's great. But anyways, what made you choose Georgetown over your other options, and why did you decide to run for the same program, in terms of you guys are both going to the same college? Rather than going your separate ways, very similar to your twin brothers as well.
Yeah, I think like in terms of going the same program, like I feel like we kind of always knew that we wanted to stick together because we've just always like our whole lives have been teammates, like with swimming, with running, and like with running especially like when it's like really just the two of us a lot of the time for like distance. So we're just so used to like running together and training together, and like we really love it. So I think like neither of us really want to give that up, and we both are also like looking for like a lot of the same things. So it just kind of like worked out that way.
Yeah. And then in terms of Georgetown, it was really just we felt like that was just the place we fit in with the team the most. That was like the first school we went on a visit for too, and like right when we got there, just like the team was so welcoming. Like we felt like we got along with all the girls really well. We loved the coaches too, and obviously they're just super like dedicated, and they're like super passionate and excited about like everything the team has coming and stuff. So yeah.
And I've also got to ask, do you guys have a relationship with Chloe Scrimger as well? I know I'm pretty sure she still runs at Georgetown. So
Yeah.
did she have an impact on why you guys chose Georgetown? Was she, telling you guys specific things about the program or giving you guys information about why you should join that program? So I'm just curious to see what your guys' relationship with her is like.
Yeah, definitely. She obviously has had so much success at Georgetown, and she just loves it there. When we were like first starting to get recruited by Georgetown, we like went on a few runs with Chloe, and she just like talked to us a lot about her experience there. And yeah, it was like all positive. She loves it. So that definitely like influenced our decision too, I would say.
Cool, cool. And also, I also do want to ask on a more separate note from running, but are you guys planning on rooming together in college? If so, how do you think this will go, and what issues or positive things do you envision will inevitably happen because of this?
Yeah, well, honestly, we share a room now, so like we're
Mhm.
used to that anyway, but I don't think we are rooming together. I think that we're just gonna end up we'll be with other people on the team,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think we're probably gonna split up, which is honestly gonna be a little weird because we've
Yeah.
always shared a room.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to just because like we've always shared a room and like we already lived together at home, so we kind of wanted to like, try being with different people, but like maybe in our like older years in an apartment or something we'll live together.
Mhm.
Nice, nice. And what are you guys majors, or what are you guys planning on majoring in at Georgetown? I know they have a great law program and everything, but do you guys have any idea of what you want to do with your academics while at this institution?
I haven't completely decided on my major, but you have to like apply to a certain school, and so we're both applying to the business school.
Yeah.
Nice. And this is gonna be the final question because I think it is a very good question to ask on a final note. But this is your last season of running in high school, obviously. So how has this altered your perspective on your respective seasons? Is there a sense of urgency that you guys have going to each and every meet, knowing that it may be your last? So I I just wanted to ask that just in terms of how have you guys, you know, approached races differently this year because it's your guys' last season of high school running, and how do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I think honestly, one thing I've been working on this year is just trying to make myself less nervous because
Mhm.
it's my last year. So like I'm just trying to have fun with it. And but I would say it also is like motivating because I
Mhm.
know it's my last year. And so it's kind of helped me to like get into a good mindset before my races and like really push myself because like it's like might be the last or it is the last time that I that I'm doing it for like this year and just for my high school career. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like compared to last year, just in terms of recruiting and everything, like this year has like less actual pressure.
Mhm.
So like it's just that like I have goals that like I want to accomplish for myself, but like it's not like I actually like have to do certain things. So I feel like that's nice because it's just like motivating in like a good way. Because I feel like sometimes when like last year because there was so much pressure on everything we did, like it was easy to like just get super nervous and overwhelmed. So yeah, like Liv was saying, this year I'm just trying to have more fun with it, not get as nervous, and yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, again, I would really like to thank you guys for coming on the show, and best of luck seriously with the your next meets in the championship cycle. And yeah, again, it was super interesting to hear what you guys both had to say. And yeah, but anyways, I will see all of you guys next time. And this is Grant Walters with My Sports Results signing off. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day.